I have helped close over $800,000 in high ticket deals for just one single creator business. And in this video, I'm going to show you the exact steps to land your first client, even if you have zero experience and zero audience right now. Look, here's the truth that most people are not going to tell you. The reason why you don't have high ticket clients is not because you are not good enough. It's not because you need a bigger audience, and it's not because you need some fancy funnel. It's because you do not have a system for getting them. You've probably been posting content just kind of hoping that someone reaches out. Maybe you've even lowered your price thinking that that's the problem. Maybe you've tried doing cold DMs and kind of felt like a used car salesman. And maybe you've sat there just staring at other people's posts wondering why they land clients so easily. None of this works because you are skipping the fundamental steps. So in this video, I'm going to break down the exact 4-step system for getting your first high ticket client from zero. No ads, no huge following, no sleazy tactics, just a system that actually works. Let's get into it. Let me start with why you probably don't have any clients yet, because if we don't diagnose this correctly, none of the next steps are actually going to matter. You see, most aspiring coaches and creators think that the path to high ticket clients looks like the following. Step 1, build an audience, post consistently, and hope someone reaches out, then maybe sell them something. The truth is, that's backwards. The actual path to your first high ticket client looks like this. Step 1, build an offer. Put it in front of the right person, have a conversation, and then close them. The whole audience, that comes later. If you're trying to figure out how to get your first high ticket client, the answer is simpler than you actually think. You see, you don't in fact need 10,000 followers to land a $5,000 client. You need one person who has a problem that you can solve, and you need a conversation with them. That is simply it. And look, here's the massive reframe. And this shift has changed everything for the people I work with. Stop thinking like a creator and start thinking like a business owner. See, creators simply post and pray. They put out content and hope that it performs. They hope someone DMs them, and they hope that someone lands on their profile and scrolls through their highlights and then decides, yes, this is the person I want to give $5,000 to. Look, that's not a strategy. That is simply like having a lottery ticket. Business owners have acquisition systems. They know where the next client is coming from. They know how to find them. They know what to actually say. They know what happens on the call. And they know what the offer is. They know what happens after the call as well. This shift from creator to business owner is the shift from hoping to operating. And when you actually make this shift, clients stop being something that just happens to you, and they become something you actually produce. So here is the system. Step 1, before you find a single client, you need an offer that is specific enough that when one person hears it, they say, that's exactly what I need. Not a massive program, not 12 modules and 17 bonuses, not a 200-page PDF, a simple, specific outcome for one type of person. So here's the framework, and you can go ahead and write this down. I help this specific person go from this current state to this desired state in X timeline. Specific person, current state, desired state, time frame. Let me give you an example so you can actually see how this works. A weak version is I help business owners grow their business. Nobody really cares. Every single coach on the internet says that. A strong version is I help fitness coaches go from inconsistent $3,000 months to predictable $10,000 to $30,000 months by installing a sales system in 90 days. Do you see the difference here? One describes you, the other describes the exact person on the other side of the screen, the exact pain they're in, the exact place they actually want to be, and the exact timeline to get there. The more specific your offer, the easier it is to actually find that person. I help business owners is almost impossible to sell because it is impossible to find business owners. They're everywhere and kind of nowhere. I help fitness coaches stuck at $3,000 a month is easy because you know exactly where those people live online. You don't need a website, you don't need a funnel, and you don't need any kind of sales page. You need one sentence that makes the right person stop scrolling and think, holy shit, that's me. And look, I actually did a whole deep dive on how to build an actual irresistible offer in a previous video, so I'll go ahead and link that down below. Look, if your offer is not clear yet, go ahead and watch that video directly after you finish this one. Once you have the offer, here's how you actually find people. Your first clients are not going to come from content. They are going to come from conversations. Forget ads, forget going viral, forget like the perfect Instagram theme. Your first 3 to 5 high ticket clients come from direct conversations with people who already have the problem that you solve. So you're probably asking yourself, where do you actually find these people? Communities, school, Facebook groups, Reddit, Discord servers, even places like your competitors' followers. Anywhere that your specific avatar is already gathering to ask questions about the problem that you solve. Even comment sections of other creators in your space. You see, they're full of future clients, people who are actually engaged, people who are asking questions, people who are clearly in the middle of the problem. Your existing network, even if it's small, friends of friends, old coworkers, people from high school who went on to start a business. Reality is your network is actually bigger than you think, and some of those people have the problem that you solve right now. But look, here's the part that people get wrong. The approach is not just cold pitching. I'm not telling you to go slide into everyone's DMs and say, hey, do you want to hire me? Because like that never actually works. It annoys people and it actually just damages your reputation. And over time, that can't even scale. The approach is value first engagement. So here's the 3-step framework. Step 1, genuine engagement. Comment on their comment, answer their questions in public, add value for free in the open where everyone can actually see it. No pitch, no link, no agenda, just help. Step 2, the DM that references the public interaction. Something like, hey, I saw your question the other day about X. Here's a thought that I couldn't fit into the comment section. That's it. See, you're actually continuing the conversation, not just starting a cold one. Step 3, if the conversation goes well and they're actually generally engaged, then you can say, I actually work with people on exactly this. Want me to show you how we would approach it? And now you have permission to have a real conversation about your offer. This is not DM automation. This is not scripts you blast to 100 people at a time. This is truly human to human interaction where the goal is to be helpful. If you are helpful first, the conversations will happen. And look, at this stage of the game, you need conversations, not leads. 10 real conversations with the right people is worth way more than 1,000 followers who will just never buy. Now you got someone interested. And this is where most creators blow it. The biggest fear I hear from first-time sellers is, I just don't know how to sell my offer. Well, here's the good news. You don't need to sell. What you need to do is have a structured conversation. That's it. A sales call is not a pitch. It's really a diagnosis. Think about it kind of like this. When you go to a doctor, you don't sit down and get a sales pitch. The doctor asks you questions. They figure out what is actually going on, then they tell you what's wrong. They tell you what the fix is, and you walk out with a prescription. And you never ever feel sold to. You actually feel helped. See, this is the energy that I want you to have on your sales calls. You are a doctor, your prospect's a patient. Your job is to diagnose and prescribe, not to pitch. So to make it simple, here's the 4-step framework for the conversation. Question 1, understand their current situation. Where are you right now? And let them actually tell you. And you have to really listen. Question 2, understand their goal. Where do you want to be? Let them paint the full picture of the outcome they actually want. Question 3, identify the gap. What do you think is stopping you from getting there? This is kind of where the real objection starts to come out. And this is where you find out what they have tried, what they have failed, and what they're actually worried about. Question 4 is you're going to present your solution. So here's how we close the gap. This is where your offer finally enters the conversation. And just because you have spent 15 minutes understanding them, your offer is now perfectly framed to their exact situation. The close at the end of a conversation like this is very simple. See, it's not a pitch, it's just a summary. Based on everything you've told me, I think that we can get you from X to Y in 90 days. Here's what working together would look like. Are you in? That's it. No pressure, no manipulation, no 12-step objection handling scripts, just a structured conversations that ends with a clear ask. Now, the number one objection you are most likely going to hear when starting out is but have you done this for someone like me before? And here's realistically how you handle it. Here's what you're really asking. You're really asking whether the system works. And look, that's a fair question. What really matters is not necessarily the track record. What really matters is whether the system is sound and will work for you. So let me actually show you what happens when we ran this with my last client. And then you show whatever proof you have. And I get that some of you may be thinking, well, what if you don't have proof? And that's fine. Reference a broader system, reference the principles, reference the mechanisms of why this works. You do not need a full case study to close your first client. You need clarity and confidence in the process. And here's the thing. Sales calls are not optional. They are not a skill you get to skip because you'd rather just hide behind content. They are where the real revenue happens. And if you're getting serious about getting your first high-ticket client, you are going to have sales calls. And look, the sooner you embrace that, the sooner you will get paid from your first client. And step 4 is the one that no one talks about, but it's what separates one client from 10. Your first client is not about the money. I know that sounds strange because you're probably getting into this for the money, but hear me out. Your first client is for the proof. Your job on your first client is to over-deliver. Get them the result and document every single step of the process. Screenshot the wins, save the testimonials, track the metrics. Because once you have one real result, you now have the most powerful sales asset that exists in business. A case study. Here's where this person was, here's what we did, and here's where they ended up. See, that sentence backed by real numbers from a real person is worth way more than any ad you will ever run. Here's the repeat loop, and go ahead and write this down as well. Deliver the result. Deliver the proof. Use proof in your outreach. Land your next client. Deliver the result. Document the proof. Use the proof in your next outreach. Land the next client. See, that is purely how you go from 0 to 5 clients without spending $1 on ads. Each client creates the proof that attracts the next one. The first one is the hardest. The second is a little easier. And by the 5th, people will start coming to you. And this is where I want to demolish one of the biggest false beliefs in the creator economy. You do not need more leads. You, in fact, need a better conversion of the conversations that you are already having. 5 real conversations with the right people is worth way more than 500 cold leads. Because 500 cold leads will not close if you don't know how to have the conversation. 5 real conversations will close if you do. See, leads are not the bottleneck. Your system is the bottleneck. And once you get to 5 clients, something actually shifts. You see, you have enough proof to start raising your confidence. You have enough revenue to start building the systems, the funnel, the content strategy, the back-end structure. Now the audience, the content, all that starts to matter. But clients have to come first. Always. So let me give you the 3 biggest key takeaways to hold on to. And go ahead and save this in your notes. Number 1, you don't need a big audience to land high-ticket clients. You need a real specific offer and real conversations. 2, your first clients come from warm outreach, not content. Value first, not cold pitching. And 3, your first client is your first case study. Deliver the result, document it, and use that to get your next one. If you've landed on this video because you are trying to get your first high-ticket client, I actually left a free PDF breaking everything that I just talked about down in the description below. It is the step-by-step checklist version of everything I just walked you through. Print it out, follow it, land your first one. I will see you in the next one.